Hello, postgraduate students who are enrolled in 8256. This video that I'm making, that is for your assignment 1 oral presentation, and it is only applicable for students who are undertaking the 8256 postgraduate version of nutrition and disease. So now for your assignment 1 for your oral presentation, as I have said generically to everyone in the rubric, that they have certain things to do, which is prevalence, health promotion messages, Kahoot quiz, so on and so forth. All right, so the additional thing which has to be done by the postgraduate students is to summarize a research article. So basically I have shared with you a template on your canvas under assignment 1. So this is exactly the same template which is available for your assignment 1. Okay, so now for this template, basically you can choose an article and you can choose to summarize it as per the template. Okay, which will make your work easier, because if you have not done any research article summary, it's always useful to start with such sort of a summary template. Okay, so one thing which I wanted to advise the postgraduate student is that if you are time pressed for your presentation, I'm very happy for you to have your presentation not have the Kahoot quiz, but this is only this is only applicable for postgraduate students. Okay, so you can choose not to have the Kahoot quiz and spend more time in discussing the research article, because this will build up the skill which you need for your future studies, especially if you are enrolling in nutrition and dietetics. All right, so I would be very happy for you not to have the Kahoot quiz, but to have all of the other section, which is starting from prevalence, pathophysiological explanation of the diet disease relationship, going to the health promotion messages, and then focusing more of your time on the research article. All right, so if you feel your time pressed, please feel free to not have the Kahoot quiz. Absolutely fine for you to do so. All right. Okay, so basically, how do you summarize a article and what type of articles you should be selecting for your presentation? So select an article which has some sort of an intervention. All right, so for instance, the intervention could be, for example, if it is, say, if your topic is on iodine deficiency, if that is what you have selected, maybe you have found a research article in which the intervention is to give fortified iodine fortified salt or bread to one group and not to the other group, and see if this makes a difference, okay, in their iodine levels. So it could be an article as such, or else you can have an article which is, say, looking at, if your topic is on fluoride, for example, you can have an article where a new sort of a fluoride toothpaste is under intervention, and the intervention group is having the fluoride toothpaste and the other group is not having, and you want to see at the end how this is the impact of this on dental fluorosis. Okay, so depends upon the type of topic you have selected for your presentation, but at the end, select a intervention based topic, okay, which is around your main topic. So if you have selected say fluoride, then the research article should be to do something with, say, intervention around fluoride. Okay, if your topic is on iron deficiency anemia, then something around iron deficiency anemia. Okay, so I hope it makes sense. Basically, it has to be some sort of intervention. All right, for the disease condition, it could be fluorosis, it could be iron deficiency, but some sort of intervention for any disease condition that you have selected as part of your project, okay, as part of your assignment 1. All right, so basically, how do you summarize a intervention topic or whatever original article which you have? Okay, so the title will be as it is, obviously. Okay, so with the title, you just copy paste it. The aim of the research paper, you have to summarize in your own words. Okay, so now guys, it is not within the scope of this unit where I teach you how to summarize a article constructively. Okay, so these are called as research writing, scientific writing, research skills. So basically, this is something which is not in the scope of this unit for me to teach you, but that's why I'll just go over this. But if you don't know the basics of, say, research, then you would want to, say, look into a bit of, say, help from the library or YouTube videos on how to, say, summarize articles and what is scientific writing before you do a research summary article. Okay, but yes, it is not feasible for me to cover how do you summarize, to teach you how to summarize a research article, because it's not within the scope of this unit. But of course, say I do this in other units. So like I teach a unit which is called as epidemiology, and research planning. That is where I teach these skills because it is more relevant for that unit. Okay, so please bear in mind that this is a skill which you will have to learn right now, just for your basics, which is for your assignment 1. But of course, as you progress in your career, when you take up subjects such as epidemiology, community public health nutrition, which I teach in dietetics, that is where you're actually systematically taught how to do this, because it's part of the learning objectives. All right. So yes, over here, in the first column for the author, year, country, design, it is as simple as it can be. It's very intuitive. Okay, so I have nothing more to say. All right, so it is as it is. Okay, and with participants, generally, where do you find the participant information? So I'll just keep on giving you hints which may help you in summarization. So with participants, obviously, as it says, and if you have had some experience, find this information in the method section of the paper. Some of this information is also there in the abstract. Okay, so if method section is very confusing for you, start with the abstract. You will get some information about this, like the sample size is always there in the abstract. Okay, almost always. And then more of this information you will get in the method section. Okay, so similarly, let me give you this hint also. So the aim or the hypothesis of the paper, generally this is written in the last paragraph of your introduction. That is where the author says, so in this study, this is what I want to do. Okay, and it is written in simple language. All right, so one hint over here. And if you are still not confident, then the aim or the hypothesis is also there in the abstract within the first couple of lines of the abstract. So the early section of the abstract has the aim and the hypothesis. Or else, basically, yeah, I think these are the two places which I'll tell you. I don't want to confuse you further because I'm not formally teaching this to you. So it's not good to give half information. Okay, so let me keep it very basic, very simple for you at this stage. All right, then the study design, where do you find it? So guys, for study design, you will have to first look at YouTube videos to understand what are the various type of study design. As I have said, a big hint which I have given you, try selecting intervention based article. So then it becomes very easy for you. Most of the time your article will be, say, a randomized control trial, or it would be some sort of a quasi experimental design. Okay, so now what is a randomized control trial? What are quasi experimental design? Look up YouTube videos, look up a bit of material on this, so you can identify the right type, so you can correctly identify your study article type. Okay, then you have your independent variable. Now in your, if you select the right type of article, okay, then this becomes easy for you because your independent variable most probably, okay, obviously different research papers, I don't know what you would be selecting, but if you select the generic type of research paper which I hinted you for, your independent variable will be the groups. Okay, so it will be the intervention group versus the control group. So your group type is your independent variable in your case, and then you have to give few details about what exactly was done, means in this group. So the intervention group had, say, 2 tablets of iron supplementation with food, say 3 times a week. And the control group, what sort of placebo it had, and say what were the dropout rates. Okay, or they had this going on for, say, 4 weeks. Okay, the intervention was for 4 weeks. So yes, these are the type of details you need to say register with your independent variable. Okay, and guys, also if it's very difficult for you to fit this in, say, one PowerPoint slide, you can do your PowerPoint presentation and then you can actually use a template like this. Okay, and you can say explain your article as a Word document as part of your whole presentation, which is totally fine with me. Okay, So yes, detail your independent variables, exactly what was done as part of the intervention. Your dependent variables will be the outcome. Maybe they gave iron supplementation and they wanted to see what is the increase in the blood iron levels. Okay, so you have to say how were the blood iron levels measured? That is your dependent variable. Okay, nanogram, milligram, how many blood tests were done, baseline, endpoint, did they do a blood test even in between? Okay, were there any other indicators which they looked out for? Say maybe the effect of iron supplementation not only on the blood iron status, but maybe on, say, the individual's cognitive capacity. Maybe they had done some more other things, okay, or individual's physical stamina or their attention span, memory span, if it is for children. Okay, so it depends. So whatever they measured as an outcome, that is your dependent variable. Okay, then you have to also identify what were the covariates adjusted, and this is generally found. So IVDV, this information, of course, again is the method section. So if you see, guys, 3 of your, say, columns are from your method section. So method, reading and understanding the method section is so very much important. Okay, now the what type of covariates they adjusted, again, this is generally then the method section in the data analysis section, which is generally the last section of your method section. And if you're still not confident about that, then look at the tables. Like table 1 is generally socio-demographic, like descriptive. So that gives me, that reminds me, table 1, if it is socio-demographic, which generally is, like say we had 642 participants and 50% of them were females and things like that. So this is generally there in the table 1 in most papers, not in all papers, but in most papers. So it depends upon the type of paper you selected. Okay. And this covariate adjusted is generally written in, say, more complicated analysis which the paper does, which is generally reflected in your table 2, table 3, okay, anything which is after table 1. If they are really good authors, like for example, I have a best practice that whenever I control for covariates, I write it under my table as footnotes, that these are the covariates which I have controlled for. But not all authors do this. And if, unfortunately, if they haven't done it in your paper, then you will have to read the method section much more thoroughly to understand where are the covariates that have been adjusted. Okay, and then again, data analysis, the last section of your method will tell you what statistics have been done. Okay, then this is obviously your results. So one hint, if you want to know what are the main results of the paper, this is always written in the abstract. Okay, so abstract is one of the places where you can find the key result of the paper. Why is this highlighted in yellow? Because in a very simple statement, you have to first say that what are the main findings of this research paper of yours. Okay, so maybe iron supplementation improved the blood iron levels in the intervention group. Maybe that is the main finding. So write it in simple language, okay, as one crisp statement. That is what I expect in this yellow color thing, which is result in your very own words. Of course, everything else should be in your very own words, but result in very simple terms, exactly telling what was the main finding. Okay, and you could have, say, 2 main findings, that is fine. Another, say, hint of where the main findings are generally identified is the first paragraph of your discussion. Okay, in the first paragraph of your discussion, the author generally, as best practice, they have a habit of saying in simple terms, this is what we wanted to do and this is what we found out. Okay, so that is another way of like identifying where in simple language you would be having the result. Okay, if statistics are confusing for you, then of course you have to write the main result, what is the statistical result with the statistical finding. So with the say effect size and the p-value, don't just give me only p-value, they don't make sense. Okay, so you need to report the effect size as well. Okay, so as I said, this is generally there in the abstract. If not in the abstract, some people don't write the statistics in the abstract, then you will have to read the result section properly. All right. Okay, so yeah, so that is where you have your results. All right, so and then critique. You have to provide certain critique for the paper, meaning what was critique, meaning what was not done well in the paper. Did they have a very small sample size? This was only done on girls, or maybe they did not use the right statistics or appropriate statistics, or they should have control for certain variables. If you have knowledge about, say, statistical, then you can do that. Or they only looked at, say, rich kids and they did not look at other social demographics, or they only looked at, say, the say Indian ethnicity and not the other population, or only Caucasians, and this could not be applied for the other, say, ethnic backgrounds. So things like that you have to critique. Again, I cannot go into the details of how to critique a research article. This is like a lecture in itself, okay, how to critique a research article. Therefore, it is not in the scope of this unit. But basically, what is in the scope of this unit is for you to understand what are the various type of, say, as a postgraduate student, what are the various type of research which is done within your say assignment topic space, and how do you summarize the most important information from it. So the basics of reading and comprehending a research article definitely is part of a postgraduate student's role as part of this unit, and therefore the assignment task for you to do this work. Okay, so just to help you, just to additionally help you out, what I have done is, although I'm not teaching you formally how to critique a research article, but I have say developed a few slides which I use with my epidemiology students and my community public health students. And I'll share those 3-4 slides which are there with you, which teaches you how you critique research articles, meaning what are the main points on which you can critique on. These are, say, a basic starting point, you know, if you're doing, say, summarizing a research article for a very first time. Okay, so I'll just share this with you. This is also available on your Canvas site under assignment 1. This template is available for you, and some students ask, where is the empty template? Just delete this and this becomes an empty template. Okay, it's a Word document. All right, it's not a PDF that it's hard for you to edit. Okay, so yes, if you choose to use this template for summarizing your research article, then just delete what I have given you. I wanted to not just give you a template, but give you a template with an example done, which gives you more confidence in doing the same work independently. Okay, therefore I have like taken this time to go through the research article with you. All right, and of course do have your abbreviations over here as well. And of course, guys, if you are in doubt whether this is a right article or you know, it's not a right article and things like that, then definitely bring your articles in the tutorials, and I can, like, you know, tell you if this is the right article which you have selected for your presentation. Okay, and of course, as I said, there are even consultation session for the same. So you can even share your article in the week 5 consultation session, and I can let you know whether it is an appropriate one or not. Okay, so the additional help which I wanted to provide you is with the how to critique a research article. And I'll just share that PowerPoint with you so you know that it's this is how it looks and this is what it's there. So guys, this is the additional support as for you for postgraduate students. And these are the few tips and hints which will teach you how to summarize a research article. Okay, so basically this is the guidance which I wanted to give you rather than just give you a template and tell you, oh, good luck with it. I wanted to like go through an example with you, share with you some of these hints, which will give you more confidence and a good opportunity to learn how to do this. But of course, rest assured, when you do come to, say, your master's level units, such as, say, if you're taking nutrition and dietetics, for example, I teach all of this in much more detail as part of those units. Okay, so you have subjects for this where this is taught in detail, but right now, not possible, but this is the max help that I can provide at this stage. Okay, so I hope you can appreciate this and this is somewhat useful for you. All right, so I'll just stop the recording over here and hope this helps you with your assignment. And yes, I'll see you in one of the recordings and one of the tutorials very soon. Okay, thank you.